Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 16 of season two, Unfiltered Race Fans Only. We just finished Sonoma, where it's SVG's party and everybody else can cry if they want to. So, with that, we'll start with our Cup weekend, work our way backwards to the O'Reilly, and then finally we'll talk about the brackets that got destroyed today. Uh, one weekend it's all your show, and the next weekend, well, where it matters most, you fall apart. So with that, let's get started. So coming out here, I think everybody had predicted Shane would win, and he did, but not in as dominating as fashion as I think everybody expected. Briscoe definitely had a shot, but yeah, let's start with I thought the racing once the tires really got worn out and it was hot and slick was actually really good. The race for the win was good, and battles throughout the field were good when they weren't running over each other. What'd you think about the racing, Blake?
Uh, I mean, there was more passing than last year, that's for sure. But I
Did we, did we
def
have the higher down or the higher horsepower here?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I couldn't
Um,
remember.
there was
Sorry.
definitely a lot more passing than last year, and there was definitely some fall off for sure. But I just after last week's race, it's kind of a letdown, in my opinion. Once you
Yeah, I
once you
mean,
settled out, there was no, uh, you know,
there we go.
there, there was
Air
no,
Hendrick.
there was no. I had to. There was no really passing anybody unless somebody just had some major fall off at the end of a run. Like Larson today fell off at the end of when he got to about lap 15, he would start falling off. That's why Ty Gibbs got by him at the end, stuff like that. SVG obviously had fall off at the end of his run,
Yeah.
but it the fall off just took too long with this track. When you just put concrete all over it, and
Yeah.
or at least maybe in the corners, maybe just in the corners, you know.
Yeah, could be. Just that way I'll scrub the tires more and wear them
If you're
down
watching
faster.
Marcus Smith, maybe put some concrete in the corners at a race to Kentucky, stuff like that. And then, but huge points day for SVG, as we were talking about off screen. No, it's probably too little, too late. 20 something points between him and the cut with 9 to go. Those 9, he better be on his A++ game, or
Well, we
it's
got eight
not
to
going to
go,
go.
but he was
Or 8 to
back
go.
20
So
going into it. Let's let me see if I can find the points from last week just real quick so we can see how much he gained today. Because he scored not shit
he
last
was
week.
he was on the bubble route, so 20. That's what he gained.
Thought I had it, but let's see here. Maybe it'll
But
let me.
while you're looking for
Yeah, go
that,
ahead.
I you know definitely a lot of issues this week with people getting run off. Like Bubba Wallace had the worst weekend. He had a fast car. Both of his cars were fast. He wrecks primary qualifying. And then he gets up to 10th after stage one. Gets up to 10th spot after starting last in a backup car. And gets real loose following, I believe it was the 48, and after that it was game over. Just one issue after another, and uh, just they just keep on stepping on it, and uh, the 11 has taken a point lead from Reddick. Reddick had power steering issues, but the 11 could have had a better day, but he got ran over by Kosovar of all people, and just it could have been a way better day for Hamlin had that not happened. But with everything that's happened, you've got the the 12 and the 5, and I believe just those two, the 12, the 5, and the 54 have gained a decent amount of ground in the last 2 weeks on Hamlin and Reddick. So
Yeah.
it might shape up to be a fun 8 weeks if those that stuff keeps happening.
So we went to Pocono. That was the last race before we went road racing. And at the time, SV leaving Pocono, SVG was 14th in points. So he's back up to where he was after two races. You know, having some bad luck and where things stood. So let's see here. Yeah, trying to get it. Might have to do this the hard way, I guess. Driver points. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so last week Shane was sitting 17th and he was behind Ryan Preece by only 5 points, even though he got wrecked. So he moved up, but he was behind Eric Jones. So 372 to 354. So not quite 20 points. Honestly, when you look at what he did today by winning and scoring 63 points, he really should have gained more. It just makes you look at for him. I think they're going to look back, like you said, they're definitely going to look back at this weekend as a what if they hadn't. We talked about it last week, but I think they're going to look back and go ask themselves why we tried to do anything different, treat San Diego like it was anything different than just another race. Because, and if they didn't, that's not how it looked. It looked like they did not race to their full potential last week. They had everybody, they had the field covered, and he was toying with them. Okay, I'm gonna let you go lead, see what the pace should be. I'm gonna let you go lead. And he doesn't normally do that. He normally goes out there and drives off of where you are on his rear end, and then he'll push as necessary and save and conserve. When just when
Well,
you
I
think you've got a
mean,
chance, he'll step it out there.
Saturday's
What's that?
telling the truth, and he's driving a shit box.
Maybe it sounded like I don't know about you, but that's what it sounded like on national TV to me. He said these is that we got these shit boxes coming out here bringing all this dirt on the track, and I was like, did he just say shit box on national TV
Oh my
and
God.
call the race cars we drive at that a shit box? That's awesome. So that's
Maybe he
right up
was
there with the Kyle
maybe he
Busch
was
comment.
feeling his inner Kyle Busch, exactly.
Exactly. Cool. But so, and I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a cold, but uh, so yeah. So let's start at the beginning of the race. We got Tyler Reddick with his power steering issues. He ends up 4 laps down by the time this thing is over. Denny Hamlin's in a crucial position to gain a ton of points and take the point lead. And late in the race gets, stage two, gets dumped by Carson, Hurricane Hocevar, tears up the splitter. Car never runs the same. Still leaves with the point lead though. So they got to feel good. Denny just wanted to be within, I think, 10 or 15. And at this point, I think it's Denny's to lose as far as first. The other guys are
And
gaining, like you said, but I think it's Denny's regular season bonus to lose at this point. They've done all that work leading into it, and they downplayed where they thought they'd be in these last two races. And I think for them, they're going to be surprised that they left with such a good position. Now, when we're heading into 8 tracks that are well suited for Toyota and for that team,
yeah,
between Richmond, Iowa, Indy, Chicagoland, Daytona, Atlanta. I think they're positioned to go to basically knock it out of the park on the way out. I just hope they
I
don't
think
burn up
with
all their stuff and then fall apart in the chase.
I think with the 45 basically falling apart the last few weeks, momentum is a big thing,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think the 54 is on a ride right now. The
Yep.
five the five has four straight top fives, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
and
so
Larson's last five finish at point scoring, why? Because this is really what matters. Larson's last 5 races, points scored when you need to. 35 points today, 42 points last week, 41 points the week before, 44 points the week before that, 23, 54. So in the last 5 races, other than one instance, he scored no less than
and
35 points a race.
and he was on his way to get a top five at Nashville when he had a cut tire.
Yep.
So with two to go. So if that keeps going, you might have a really good run for
Yep.
the top five. And what I was trying to allude to is if the 45 doesn't watch out, he'll find himself in fifth in points instead of second or first
Yeah.
because they are not slowly falling, quickly falling.
Yeah, they went from so I for my fantasy league, I keep an average points per race earned. And through 18 races, Larson so far has earned an average of 31.28. To Reddick's, where is he? 39.89. 8 points sounds like a lot, but that gap used to be more than 15 points more per race. Reddick and the 45 team have bled points pretty much since week, what week is that? 13. So the last 5 races, they have bled a ton of points to the rest of the field. Up to that point, they had no finishes lower than 30, and their average finish was in the 50s because they were 58, 67, 61, 39, 30, 70, 28, 33, 71. You know, they've been bleeding points left and right to the field. Meanwhile, your competition is gaining fast, like you said, on what they need to finish the season strong.
And not just Reddick, the nine. The nine has 2 wins, and he has fallen from fourth in points to what is he, seventh now?
At one point, he
Like,
was third in
yeah,
points. He's
yeah.
sixth.
So
He's holding at sixth.
okay,
Chris Buscher's behind him, but Carson jumped a spot today. Christopher Bell climbed two. Byron climbed back up one.
yeah. So he
Priest has
needs
climbed his way back into the top 16 now. So, but I don't know if you noticed, but on the TNT screen today, they've now definitely broken it down into there's 2 races. There's the race to get in and the race for the top
Yeah, they
seed,
did the top
the
six.
people
That was
they
awesome.
think that have a chance, where they think you're going to have to be to even have a chance to win this thing. And so right now, your top six, Hamlin up by one over Reddick, Blaney, Gibbs, Larson, Elliott. And honestly, I think unless Briscoe or Bell really put on a hell of a push, I think that's how it stays from here on out. I think those 6 are your 6 fighting out the rest of the way based on the tracks we got left. It's just going to be what order are those 6 going to be in with what's left. I don't see Christopher Buscher the way they're running. Their road course team today, they didn't do anything spectacular. Yet here's a guy
Yeah,
who beat.
they didn't look as strong as usual. That was very
No,
odd.
here's a guy who outran, outdueled Shane Van Gisbergen and Watkins Glen 2 years ago, and they couldn't get out of their own way. They were not good. Uh, not for what you expect from them and his road racing capabilities. So, uh, Suarez had an off day. Normally a good road racer. He won this race a couple years ago. Not sure what happened to them. Car just not good. Bell had the points day he needed. I'm, looking back at last week, I get how difficult it was, but Brent Cruz got in that car, misshifted it, blew it up, and they ended up with an awful points day. They may come to regret that when it comes time to be seated, that those points by sitting out a race that all he had to do was finish behind and let the attrition happen. It's not like he had to go run up there and try and race for the win. You already know there's going to be attrition. Let them destroy themselves. And you put a guy that's untested, unproven in that car, and you don't know how it's going to end. But you know, Chris didn't need to go do anything. Brent certainly wasn't going to go do anything spectacular for him, based on the day before. And they pulled him. I'm just saying, I think they're going to come back when we get seated and we get about halfway through the chase. They're probably going to be looking for a couple points, and they can circle this race last weekend at San Diego where they made the choice to pull him out when all he had to do is ride, and that could be very well the difference for the rest of their season right there.
Yeah, possible.
That could be the
But
difference.
with all the bad luck they've had this year, I mean, that one race isn't going to make a difference.
No, but they definitely forfeited some unnecessary points they didn't have to forfeit last week. but he's got a long career ahead of him. So, I mean, I get the goal. The longer term goal is to make sure your driver's healthy. He's going to be here for a long time. Um, so, I mean, other than a couple incidents, there really wasn't a lot of chaos to speak of. Um, I think Bubba is going to look at that stop and go penalty he gave himself when he got drove off in the dirt. He took the side road where he came to a stop, and they pointed out he didn't need to. I think they're going to go back and look and think about how, because he dropped 2 points in the standings today, how not being aware of the rules of this racetrack, and I don't blame Bubba, I blame Freddie and the crew chief in this case because they're the ones that's supposed to know that. Bubba doesn't need to know it. It's your job to inform him.
Well, it happened so fast that,
Yeah.
I don't really think anybody could have said, "What are you doing?" By the time he had stopped, it's done with. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they should have went over it beforehand, but I know the two in cars I was listening to before the race started, nobody mentioned anything. I mean, I guess it could be a pre-race meeting or something of that nature, but
No, but leading up to the race, you
I'll be
should know
honest,
the
I probably
layout.
would have
You
done the
should know
same thing.
where. I'm not saying that, because NASCAR didn't rule one way or the other. So, but based off what Steve and Dale and those guys said, it doesn't sound like he had to stop. So if that's the case, then somebody didn't do their homework, whether that's the driver, the team, all of them. But, he went off 10th. He came back out 20 plus
20
because he
seconds.
stopped. So,
And then he got involved in
some of that, and then that in turn got him involved in a bunch of people's mess. And if you didn't have to come to a stop, 5 or 6 positions could be different. In turn, you're not as far back in the mess. So I'm just saying, things are getting tight. You can't afford. You would no longer have the advantage or the ability to spot anyone a single point from here on out. You have got to collect every point you can get. So, um, anything else on the cup race side you want to talk about? Like, I agree with you. It wasn't, when you compare it to San Diego, it wasn't much to speak of. It was just, the final stage when they were coming down to it, that last 10, 15 laps after the pit stop, they were good because, Shane's been basically conserving all day and the 19 put it on him and didn't let him. Now, by the time he got there, he'd worn his stuff out too. You saw in the final turn where he tried to get in there enough where he could give him a bump and maybe upset the ass of his car and get him to come loose a little bit. Hopefully not wreck him, but because I don't think that's how Briscoe is. But
Oh,
Briscoe's front tires were so cooked and there's so much
yeah.
grease in that corner that even once he got there, the front end just drifted out and away. Uh, and then Byron, a couple laps before, cooked it trying to pass Bowman. And as a result, damn near, could have taken his teammate out right there. Um, as far as I
Uh,
know, this is the first year with that change at that set of turns at the final corner coming to the finish. What do you think about that wall that they've made there? Because it used to be just tire packs and you could slowly push them
it
in and
was
push
like
them
that
in.
last year.
Was it? Okay. I guess
Yeah.
I didn't notice it as much last year. I like it a lot better. You can't cheat the track up as you go, slowly nudge it, nudge it, nudge it. You're forced to.
But they should call it the watermelon wall
Maybe.
since that's
Oh,
why
there
it's
we
named.
go. Okay. So right now they've got so let's do the end season thing for a minute. Okay. So Elliott advances over Gregson. So he lucked out. He had Gregson. He had a good draw. McDowell advances over Bubba. Gibbs over Dillon. And Hamlin over Dillon. Jones over Logano. Busher over Nemechek. Bell over Chastain. Byron over Stenhouse. Larson over Herbst. SVG over Priest. And Blaney over Barry. So obviously Reddick's a disappointment there for a lot of people. Their poor brackets got busted.
Damn.
Yeah. So looking at our
We
matchups for
were all
next
we
week.
were all
Yep.
Ty Dillon fans for a little bit, and I don't
Well,
know what happened to his car, but he had a 5 spot buffer, and in 3 laps he was behind Hamlin. I'd love to know what the hell happened.
they said
His car,
his power steering went out like before
really.
that, and he was having to struggle. He ended up having to come in. I mean, Richard Childress ain't gonna pull over for no fucking Toyota, so it's not like that was a gimme. Um, Even though I'm sure after the lawsuit, Hamlin and RC are probably friends now after the way they went after NASCAR together.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, trying to see if I can find an actual
So,
all of it. But yeah, go ahead.
so before we go in the bracket too far, you asked if I had anything else for the race.
Yes,
We
let's get
got to
back.
give, we got to give, as my wife calls him, Zilly. We got to give Zilly his flowers. We finally had him a good race, finished top 10. I believe it's his first top 10 finish in a cup race. So,
Let me
oh
look at his
boy.
points, and I'll tell you real quick. Oh yeah, definitely. It's his first points day, period, above 22 points. It's his first day of collecting more than 30 points in a race in 18 races. So he very, very much needed to. I think that's the longest skid I think we've ever seen of a rookie with that much talent coming in run that shitty for a season.
He needed it. I still, I kind of wonder. I really thought he had something for. I don't think he had a winning card, but I thought he would have something for uh, SVG. But the 19 booted him out of the way on the
Oh,
last
yep,
restart, and you thought, okay, he'll get back by him, and then he kind of hammered spots about halfway through the run,
yep.
and it just kind of was odd because he got his he passed his way up to third
Yeah, he
during the
had a
last
good
run,
car.
the prior run. So you thought, okay, he might have something. That run starts, and I don't know what it was weird. Like I don't know what happened, but I mean, I'm still happy for him. He got seventh, but it was seventh, right? But
Yeah,
to fall from second to seventh with what I thought was a contending car was just kind of curious to me. But still a top 10. He started outside the top 20, I believe. So Uh, pretty good day for him to finish top 10 for his first time. But the other thing I have is I feel like Ty Gibbs threw this race away. His crew chief threw it away. I
yeah,
think if you if he short pits or flips the stage, both stages, he wins this race.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they had a fast enough car. So did Briscoe. I think the SVG factor dictated their strategy, and honestly, both of them had an equal car,
Well,
and they probably could have finished a position or two positions each better
I can't
than
give
where
him
they
too
were.
much grief because he went from 1 point behind Larson to plus 18 or whatever it is, and all he did was finish one spot ahead. So like, you know, he did good as far as getting points, but he could have gotten the ultimate amount of points by winning the race. And I feel like they had a car to do that, and they took stage points over a win. And I don't think that was a
Let me
good
back and pull it here real quick. So
I don't think that was a good call.
Risk or Gibbs, let's see, points. Doesn't tell me his breakdown by. Okay. So stage two, 10 points. Stage one, 10 points. So he gained 20 points, but he forfeited the 15-point bonus by not going for the win. Now, he wasn't far off. I mean, I think, you know, you raced the race, but I mean, if we
What
have,
I'm saying is if he flips stage two, maybe not stage one, but if he flips stage two, you're closer and you you finish, you're closer and he finished third, 5 seconds behind the lead. So if you're closer, you see what I'm saying? You flip
yeah,
stage two, you got more spots, you're gonna he probably wins this race.
well, that's what I was gonna say. And if we have a caution late, it's definitely his race because the other two are up there pushing each other as hard as they can go, and they've smoked their stuff.
Mhm.
And Ty hasn't because he's already been told like you can't get there the way you're at right now. So unless something happens, he's the best of the rest.
Yeah.
And One guy goes off track, hits the wall, whatever, gets stuck in the dirt. We could very well have a totally different outcome there. So, let's see. I do
I mean,
find so before we jump out of the cup race and off into, what was yesterday was SVG personal playground. Uh, I did find some irony to the fact that last week a 2311 car dumps Hocevar in the process of going on to win. This year, or this week, Hocevar wrecks the owner of 2311 for
uh,
no given reason. So
I mean that corner is
that's just racing, but it's
that's
just
just
a little bit of
yeah,
irony.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I will say I'm enjoying you got all the different people and some like Kosovar, some don't. The dialogue between him and Heim this week over their racing and their relationship and everything. They definitely know how to push the buttons and generate views and everything. Like this is what we need, and it's coming soon. I'm very much looking forward to because there's a lot of guys that are just holding seats that it's time for them to go that aren't doing anything. Gregson's a perfect example. Unfortunately, Josh Berry's
Mike
another one.
Dillon,
You know,
Austin Dillon.
you know,
Uh,
there's so many guys sitting down there that we're going to have an opportunity. Like, to me, Denny Hamlin doesn't need to leave. Just find another spot for Brent Cruz. Put him in there. You want him in there so bad? You want Corey Day in there so bad? Just find another spot. Nobody needs to leave. There's plenty of open spots at useless
Alex
positions
Bowman,
right now. I mean, he ran 12th today.
he's decent on road courses.
Or no, sorry, not 12th. He got 10th. All I'm saying is he did better than the rest of those clowns. So,
Yeah,
but either way,
I
even if
don't
you
know.
slot him
I'm
out,
on I'm on a
I,
Corey Day train. I think he's a better fit.
oh, I'm not saying he's not a better fit. I don't think he's ready, but there's some of these. If you're going to put him in that equipment, I'm not sure that he's ready for that opportunity yet. I think it could potentially give him a bad, you know, like look what it's doing for Zillich. Everybody keeps saying how good he is. This is the first time he's shown anything that's worth a damn once he's gotten in it. He's well on his way to being Casey Atwood, who subsequently won this weekend. And then Dale Jr.
Oh, did
made
he?
him made him eat. Yep, Casey Atwood won a race this weekend.
Oh wow.
So that was a little bit of
He was
irony in that too.
was he racing grandmothers?
I don't know. I have to go back and look. It wasn't a cars tour, it was some kind of late model or whatever. But all right, so let's move to yesterday's race. There's really not much to say other than those guys have no clue how to road race because you put somebody like SVG in there and Zillich, they ran the day. SVG had a 15-second lead over third, doing 80% of throttle. Wasn't even pushing.
So
And
they
he had
say.
that's insane. Like they should just outlaw him, man. Like you can't come play here anymore because he's embarrassing them.
Well, you mean like
They're
the
they're
Kyle Busch
bad.
rule?
Huh?
Kyle Busch rule for road courses?
Right. Yeah. Essentially he's the Kyle Busch of road courses at the junior leagues. Has SVG run a truck race yet?
Him and Zillich both.
I mean, yeah, Zillich is the same way. I mean, Zillich was right there behind him, and that shows you how much better SVG is at manages the stuff over Zillich because Zillich couldn't touch him either. So,
Yeah,
um, the only thing to talk about from yesterday is that 2 weeks in a row, it's actually, you know, Allgaier's already locked in, but it actually made him look human for the first time all year.
yeah,
But now we're going back to his bread and butter. I hope they
yeah.
gained the points they needed because that's done.
It's funny. Both Cup and O'Reilly had the same outcome when it comes to
Yep. Point
pit
leaders.
leader slash second points. Like it's like
Yep.
here you have it. No, you have it. You know him and
Yep.
Jesse
Yep.
Love are like, oh, I don't want it. You know you have it. You know
Yep.
just uh, and then you have
Yep.
Denny and Tyler doing the same thing. It's like We
Yeah, you
all
had
did
2 weeks
both
of
both
opportunities,
bad
and both
teams,
of
and
both
then
times,
good, bad,
both
and then
sides
one
coughed up
team
points.
completely.
You're dead right. You're dead right on that.
Yeah, hot potato.
I don't want it. No, you want it. No, I don't want it. You want it. Okay, I guess we're not going to decide who wants it more. So
But
let's
yeah,
see.
I had that race on, but I couldn't get into it. I'm like, this is boring. Like this is made me want to stab my eyeballs out. I used
Yeah.
to love Sonoma, and it just does not do it for me anymore.
No, it needs more tire fall off.
Yeah.
We had tire fall off,
Concrete in the
just
corners.
not fast enough.
Concrete in the corners.
Concrete in the corners and or softer tires. I mean,
Yeah.
the track was taking rubber. You could see it. It's just
Yeah.
not enough.
Especially in the S's. Did you see that overhead shot? All the black in the apex of the corners
Oh yeah.
in the S's.
Yep.
Definitely was making a groove.
All right, so
Uh,
let's look at our brackets if you're ready.
well, do you
Go
want to
ahead.
bracket? Do you want to do rumors?
Go ahead. Let's hit with the rumors and we can finish with the bracket.
Uh, apparently, there's a huge chance that Dodge comes back next year.
Yes,
Just out,
I forgot all about that. So yes, I was watching that.
dude. Oh, like Dodge could be back in 27. Like how? We haven't seen a car, a mock-up. Do they have an engine? Like
Yep.
it's dude. It's July next week. Like,
Yep.
how are you going to put that together? And
Yeah.
surely you're not just coming back with colleague. Surely you've
Well,
got
that's
another
just it. So yeah,
lined up.
to your point, everybody was like, "Hey, I need to recertify my allegiance to my OEM immediately." RFK, some others, just to make
And
sure that nothing
did they
bad
do that?
happens to them mid-season. I'm not sure that that's true because RFK was the one when Dodge was initially dipping their toe in a couple of years ago. That was the team that was going to switch when Brad had first joined. So I'm not so sure that Brad is content with them staying with Ford, even though Roush and Ford are synonymous, especially when you think about the production cars and their sports car performance and all that stuff. But I could easily see them going off over here. Because again, there's a reason that Roush, or not Roush, yeah, Roush, Fenway, Keselowski, that RFK developed their own sim stuff, developed their own stuff. They're not getting it from a Penske partnership. They get some of their stuff from Ford, but they've been developing their own tools for the same reason that Legacy did, so they could position themselves to be OEM and not OEM agnostic. So it would not surprise me if, come the end, if they said basically if we don't get a better deal from Ford, being that we're outperforming Penske pretty regularly, the 3 cars of ours to their 4, that we're going over here, who I just so happened to win a championship with, 3 of them to be exact, a cup and 2 Xfinity championships. So, uh, yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me in the least bit to see RFK go to Dodge, but to say they're going to do it in 2027, like Jordan Bianchi said, I agree. Like we haven't seen a car. We don't know who's going to make their motors. They're going to go with a if they're not buying an engine shop, I have to assume they're making their own, kind of like TRD does.
If they were smart, they would just use TRD engines.
I would think they're going to. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen. What do you think?
I mean, it's a possibility. Um, that's essentially what Toyota did when they came in. They basically piggybacked off of Chevrolet, if I remember right. So it wouldn't be the first time it happened.
I guess my big question is, what the hell are they going to race? What car? We can
The
run the
Charger,
Charger or the Challenger.
Charger.
Okay. They're going from trucks to cup. I'm assuming they're skipping Xfinity or middle ground, just
But
like Ford.
If they're in Cup, they'll be in O'Reilly. Like
I just don't see them doing O'Reilly. I don't think there's any need. It doesn't translate. It doesn't help you in cup in any way or
yeah, I mean,
trucks.
maybe not.
And I would say that only because that's part of the reason why Ford pulled all their money from there. There's no benefit to it whatsoever. Yeah. They kind of got they Ford's gone the Same route as Hendrick has with let somebody else spend the money and we'll just cherry pick them. And if I was Dodge, I'd do the same thing. I wouldn't waste my money in Grand National until we know what its identity is going to be. Because right now it has no direct correlation to running Cup. The cars are too different. We don't know what the future of the series is with the bodies and the mechanical stuff because it uses a whole bunch of parts that they don't fucking make anymore. Uh, all kinds of stuff that juniors alluded to earlier in the year. So it could end up being hybrids. Dodge just dumped their hybrid electronic vehicle program. So there's all kinds of stuff that's uncertainty with the second tier series right now. As far as I know, we still don't have a sponsor option for trucks, which is up at the end of this year.
Yeah, that's a hard.
I just hope it doesn't go back to Camping World because I hate Marcus Lemonis. That dude is a grade A swindling douchebag.
I can't say that I want a camper
I
in
know. Look, you want a
Florida.
free piece of shit. He sells pieces of shit. And anybody who's bought a camper from Camping World knows that. I'm one of them. That like they do not stand by their stuff. But
Yeah, the camper I got. I mean, I was I was like, that's all it is, really. Like,
right.
I mean, thanks, but you
I
could have
mean,
paid the taxes for me too while you're at it,
he
jackass.
he is the he is the quintessential proof that NASCAR will take anybody's money. Like this weekend, with for example, for sponsorship, since we're kind of off on oddball stuff, they got Kashi as a sponsor for betting or whatever for predictive marketing. This is the group that doesn't pay out their bets. So NASCAR will take money from anybody, no matter how sleazy you
Wow.
are. If you want to be the official, trade betting, whatever, and you pay enough money, we'll take it. I'm just waiting for them to announce the OnlyFans membership, where it's like NASCAR OnlyFans, the official adult content partner of NASCAR. Like, if they came to them, they'd probably do
You
it.
know they won't let that happen.
Sure.
Not unless
There's
it's
other
gonna be
stuff
on
on
the board.
OnlyFans. There are women that build Legos, might be in lingerie, but still, check it out. Anyway, you're newly married. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
All right, back on topic. So, other rumor stuff, any driver stuff? Not that I can think of,
Uh,
but I'm
not
assuming they go to Dodge, like you were mentioning with Colleague. I'm assuming Ty Dillon's got to be out. Like, I don't
you would
know.
think you would think he'd be out. Like, um, you kind of wonder if Pop Pop is looking at him for the 33 or not. I doubt it, but he hasn't done anything in his 10 plus year career, like at
Well,
all.
he did dethrone Denny Hamlin through the bracket challenge and got up to second through
Oh my
a
God.
miracle of craziness, but still,
Yeah. But outside of that, he's done
right.
absolutely nothing.
Agreed.
Um, but I that should happen. But who would you? I mean, the best candidate if Hendrick does part with him would be Alex Bowman.
If you're taking an outside driver, I would agree. If you're keeping who you've already got in-house driving some of your stuff at the truck level,
They'll
honestly,
probably
this
bring
could
Justin
be,
Haley in.
they probably will. But honestly, if I'm Dodge and I'm looking to make a splash and I want to make sure my cars finish, I'm
Corey.
putting I'm putting Corey LaJoie back in that car. I think he got a raw deal with his exit at Spire. Never got a chance to show what he could do with a better level crew chief. When Rodney was brought there, then they pushed Rodney out the door. I would love to see Corey get an opportunity in a car that's in a top tier team. And with Colleague being the number one partner, as far as we know, they're going to have all the resources. They're not going to be third or second on the totem pole. They're going to be the top. So anything they need, they're going to have. And give Corey a year and see what he does.
Would hurt. Question is does any other teams like that? I know you already mentioned RFK, but I think they're doing too good with Ford to jump ship for a different aero platform. Um,
It would not surprise me to see Penske go back to Dodge and RFK move to the top of the totem pole with Ford.
They do.
That's literally what
Penske
they
does.
were before
Penske
Dodge
does
left.
need a lift. I mean, they're just outside of Blaney. They're they're trash.
Yep. If if Penske went back to Dodge, which I have to imagine that relationship is damaged
Yeah,
because they had a whole bunch of success and then Penske strung them along because besides what everybody likes to say about him, he's actually a ruthless businessman. He's not the nice guy everybody thinks he is. I'm not saying Rick Hendrick is either, but he's not this, benevolent, nice guy. He's a ruthless, kill throat guy. That's how he's gotten where he's gotten. That's why he's so good in IndyCar. I could see them going back to Dodge, but I think that relationship requires a lot of mending because they led Dodge all the way to the start of the 2013 season. They unveil a car. We're leading up to Daytona 500. We're going to Ford. Bye. Dodge now has no team, no partnerships, and you screwed them out of the
they
2013 season. You basically just
they
left
spent
them.
all that money on that new car that looked amazing. Uh,
Yep. Honestly, it's why I'm surprised that Dodge even ever considered coming back. Like, if I got done wrong like that, I'd pull every dime I had from NASCAR permanently. Anytime they call, I'd be like, "You've lost your mind." So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Anything else? I don't think there's been any driver shift rumors that are like close to confirmed. Our
no,
last one was Love going to the
I would
21.
say I would say in the next month
Sorry, yeah,
they'll happen. Um, they usually happen by end of July because you have to with sponsors and all that
yeah.
other. I'd say you'll
And with people racing for their
it's
positions in the
not
chase, if
any
you're any one
longer.
of those guys, they're probably holding any announcements so that they don't kill momentum for their teams.
Well, that's why I don't understand what we're waiting on the 48. What are we waiting on? Bowman's not going to make it.
Nope.
There's no chance in hell. So what are we waiting on? Like I don't get it. Like
Who knows? Let's see. All right. So do you want to revisit the point standings real quick? You just
you
go
brought
over.
up Noah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said it in the past episode. You need to put Lane Riggs in the four.
Absolutely. Yep. I think it's time for Noah to go back down, maybe even all the way to trucks. The rumor of going into the 33 for Bass Pro. I mean, I could see that, but I just think Noah's not, maybe he's not capable. He's not a good fit for this car.
He was great in O'Reilly, but it's like you said, it's a different world, and
Yep.
he wasn't all that great in trucks.
No.
And we keep saying trucks transfer to Cup right now, and
Yep.
Lane Riggs is great in truck. Corey
Yep.
Heim was great in truck. He just won his first Cup race. Like these things, you know, Connor Zillich when he races the truck doesn't look all that great.
Yep.
So
There's more to it than it looks for sure.
yeah,
So let's see. We got 8 races to go. Brad did gain ground though. So let's see. There's a 24-point gap between 16th, which is what Austin Cindric has today, and Brad Keselowski. Let's go all the way down. How far back do we think we can go? 23rd's 36 points back. 24th is 40.
where's Eric Jones?
Eric Jones is 17th, 389
He
points, and
fell
he
out.
is, yep, he's 11 points out.
Well, he'll get back on it this weekend.
Oh, he'll get back in. I'm pretty confident he's going to get back in. He fell out 3 today with the issues they had. He
I
just
didn't
didn't
know
have a
about
good points day. He needs to he needed to have a better day than that. But when you look at how well Legacy's been running and where we're going, I'm pretty confident he's going to work his way back in. Logano dropped 2 more spots, McDowell stayed stable. Chastain stayed stable. Zane Smith stayed stable. And I'd say that's your cut line.
I really thought Zane would have a better day today.
I did
Um,
too. That's why I'm using him as the barrier because there's a large gap between Zane and Ricky. There's a 20 more
yeah,
points between them after this. So
come on,
I think
Ricky's
23rd.
gone.
No, I'm just saying,
Ricky's
but
gone
below that
fast.
is Todd Gilliland and John Hunter Nematode. So I would say Zane Smith is your cutoff line at 23rd, 340 points to 16th, 401. So there's a race wins worth of points essentially. Difference between 16th and 23rd with 8 to go. You could definitely you can definitely make up those points over the people you're racing, but it's going to be hard, you know. So see if they've refreshed this bracket before. There we go. All right, filled in. All right, let's talk about the bracket for a minute. All right. So for next week,
We're very sorry we didn't have a bracket show. We tried.
yeah, next
Well,
week going into,
I've
I
done
didn't
one.
do one because I forgot it
I
was
filled
starting.
one out this afternoon, just not on any page, just filled
Yeah.
it out. And I had Bubba in the championship round, so yeah.
Well, let's
And
work
I
our
was
way from
looking
the
good.
left side
So
first. Let's
good
see who
job.
got eliminated. I wish it would just tell you who got kicked out. Where's Bubba? Who was he against? Walls. He lost to McDowell. What if? Because he'll
Hmm.
definitely do better than McDowell the rest of the way.
Hmm.
Every time we start on a road course, there's going to be some people locked out, you know. But at least unlike last year, where like half the
Last year
field was
started
out
with
after,
Hannah.
yeah, like the whole damn field was eliminated. Basically, all the top players, all the A tiers were gone after 2 races. Uh, there's actually some good people still left in the mix. So, all right. So our next matchup, we're going to Chicagoland next, right?
Hmm. Night
Bowman,
race.
yep, Bowman and Cindric. Who are you taking?
That's a good one. Bowman by a hair.
I agree. I think I know who should win it is Bowman, but in terms of
Last race we ran here, Bowman won it.
yeah,
And I've been down on him all episode and all year, but he is good at Chicagoland. He is the defending winner there.
all right. Our next one, Gilliland or Hocevar. Seems like Hocevar should be the one that makes it.
It should be. Yep. Let's go with him.
Okay. Briscoe or Ty Gibbs? This one's gonna be tough.
It's a Briscoe. It's gonna race like Darlington. I
That's what I
think.
was thinking. It's gonna race like Darlington. I think this gives Briscoe the edge. But I think that Ty Gibbs is gonna make him earn it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Chase and McDowell. Chase should easily win this.
I don't know. He's been falling apart lately.
Yeah. I'm just saying we're going to
Um,
another mile and a half lake. They
yeah,
won Texas. He
yeah.
should win
I
here.
agree. I agree with you.
I don't remember where his other win is.
He had won Texas and Martinsville.
That's right. All right. Hamlin and Jones. I mean, I think Hamlin's going to win the damn race. So
I think Jones
if
might have
not,
something.
but if he doesn't win, it means he's going to have something bad happen, and Jones may very well beat him out. But I'm going to take Hamlin. All right. Busher or Bell?
Oh, that'd be a good one too.
Yeah.
These are some good uh, little contest here. Um, if his arm is feeling better and they don't have bad luck, I go with Bell.
What I'm interested in is if, unless I'm wrong, this is the only mile and a half or D-shaped oval that has a curved backstretch. And they
Yes.
haven't raced here in quite a while. They got to remember that or they're going to bounce their ass off the wall. because you come off the turn and you never really stop turning
Yeah.
all the way through the car, all the way through the track. So really, it's one continuous arc. Just goes from wide sweeping to like a very broad, and then back to wide sweeping. All right, Byron or Larson? This one's gonna be tough.
No, it ain't.
You don't think so?
It, no, Larson's been better than him at the mile and a half all year, like literally. So
All right.
this this is what should be happening right here, right there. That
He's
pace is
got
winning
takeoff.
right there.
Okay. All right. SVG versus Blaney. This should be a no question.
SVG.
You know, that's you think it. See, I want to believe it should be Blaney, but I think Blaney's pit crew's gonna fuck him, and that's what's gonna get him.
Well, there's got to be some sort of craziness happen this round, right? There's always something.
Oh yeah, somebody. There's gonna be a big upset,
Yeah.
and your ones that could be upsets. Like this is definitely one of them. The obvious choice should be Blaney. He should be faster, should win between those two. But
This is just like the Bell and Hamlin matchup. It's
you
it
mean
should
Dylan and
be
Hamlin?
it should
The
be
Dylan
Hamlin.
Hamlin? Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm talking about this next round.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah.
it's Jones versus Hamlin, right?
Yep, yeah,
So it should be Hamlin based off the 3 wins in a row on the tracks earlier this year. But
yep.
I the 43 is coming on. The 43 is strong. It could be him. And same thing goes for SVG will be able to qualify in the second bracket. Just you never know. It might rain, and he gets to start top five and see what happened at Charlotte. He ran top 10 all day. So and the Fords have not been good on mile and a halfs, or at least the Penske Fords haven't.
I agree. Like that's the, you know what? I take Blaney as his own edge case, but I agree. Penske has struggled, and even Blaney has struggled as of late. So yeah, I don't feel like. Aren't you talking me out of it? I think SVG will probably come out the victor here. I'm not sure how.
Next week when we come on, you'll either call me a genius or an idiot. I'll let you
I'll be
know
like,
either way.
well, let's rewind the clock.
You
So Blake,
just need to figure out how to show this on the screen with black and white.
I'll be like, let's point to the screen. All right. Blake said SVG Penske sucks. Here is SVG taking the spot, and Allen is wrong.
I mean, I'm doing all this for Chip, so fine.
Yep.
If SVG's a Hall of Famer, then he can beat the 12, right?
All right, let's talk about that since I know that gets you all riled up. All right.
Hold on, is that the last
SVG.
bracket? Is that the last
Yeah, that
bracket
was the
we're
last
doing?
bracket.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let's go back. Let's finish the bracket thing just one quick second. With all those people left, not knowing who's going to advance from here on out. So I'll go down the list of people or with who's left, between those matchups. Who do you think gets to the end now? Bubba's out. Reddick's out. Who else got knocked out? Brad K is out.
Well, my fandom says Larson, but he has to get past Atlanta to do that. Uh, that's the only for me. That's his only potential hiccup is Atlanta. Same for Hamlin. Like they could meet in the Wilkesboro round. Those two could, but it just really depends on Atlanta. Um, that's just such a wild card event that you're not really sure. So
So yeah, if
those,
if Chase comes out on top in his bracket and Gibbs or Briscoe, like Atlanta be in the next round, even if Larson comes out on top, and if Blaney ends up making it through, I don't know that Larson can beat Blaney at Echo Park. The Fords just tend to draft better usually and work better together, which
so before Larson decided to wreck himself at the first Atlanta race, he was top three the entire first stage.
Oh, I agree.
And
I'm not
he's
ranking
always
Larson
got a
against
good
Blaney
car
though. I'm
there.
ranking Larson
He just
against
always
all
finds a way
four.
to screw up. So that's why I'm saying if Atlanta goes how it could, he could get through there, but it could be a shit show because everybody racing for points and going for stage points. You never know how, you know, nighttime is the right time to wreck.
Yep. I'm just looking at how well Ford tends to work together at plate tracks above any other manufacturer. Larson versus the Ford field continuum, especially if Penske's all still in one piece and they don't get wrecked, that's going to be hard to overcome because Team Chevy, not even Team Chevy, Team Hendrick has proven time and time again they don't know how to work together at these tracks. So if it's Larson versus Penske, which it could be, assuming he's got to get out of this race first. But if we get to Atlanta and he's still in it and he's got to beat a Penske driver, that's going to be hard just because of how well they work together. I'm not questioning Larson's skill. I'm looking at HMS teamwork skill. They don't do it. Nobody does it like Ford does, and especially like Penske there. So, or RFK being the other one. So let's see.
You say that, but a Toyota with a busted up fender won the spring race.
True. Very true. Well, they let him. So looking at who's left.
I don't think a Toyota or a Ford has won here since the fall of 24.
Hamlin hasn't run that well at Atlanta.
Nope.
I have a hard time picking a winner with who's left, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Atlanta race is really gonna. When you ask me after Atlanta, it's more
Yeah.
defined. We know who's good at Wilkesboro and stuff like that. So, but Atlanta is such a crapshoot.
Yeah. I don't know. This is gonna be hard. And honestly, I'm not worried about next week unless something happens. Atlanta makes me nervous for Bell because that arm's still gonna be in a cast. And we're gonna have some big hits. And as long as he can stay out
How
of them,
long
he'll
do
be
you
good.
cast these days? I thought it was like 6 weeks.
Hmm?
How long do you wear a cast? I've never wore a cast.
Oh no, it's multiple weeks. So what I'm saying is we're going to Atlanta and Bell's
Well,
still
you
gonna
can
be in
wear it
that
for 4
cast.
weeks. I mean, how long you not wear it?
He's been in it for three, right?
Nashville or no, not Nashville. Michigan. Happened in Michigan and Pocono.
Yep. Okay, you're right.
Greenfield,
He might be out of it by then.
Chicago. So he'll have had it for 4 weeks, four and a
Okay.
half.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's out of it, I'm less worried. If he's still in it when we get to Atlanta, I'm a little worried because we know there's big
It would
hits.
be so close to healed, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
No. All right.
Just
Uh,
Mark Martin that thing. Just do this number.
get him the bus driver handle where he just holds the lever
Yeah, there you go.
and he can hold it
Call
like the Lego
call
hand.
gives up and tell him what to do.
I'll call him do that and tell him to hold it like the Lego hand. Oh man. All right. Well, that's all I needed to talk about. Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, there was. I can't remember. It's going down.
Who did we
So you
predict for
think,
Chicagoland? Did we
yeah,
predict on
you
our
kept
pad?
telling us Danny, am all right. All show.
No,
Danny
no. I
Hamlin.
meant what did we pick at the beginning of the year?
I was looking for my
Your
sheet and I
sheet.
couldn't find it.
Okay.
Uh, give me. You want to pause it for a second? Oh,
Yeah. Give me a second. I can do that while we wait. All
all
right. So
right.
who do we have?
I have
All right.
found the
Got the
booklet of
notepad of
shame.
destiny. All right.
The booklet of shame.
The booklet of
All right.
shame. All right.
So let's see. We were all wrong on
San
Daniel
Diego.
David Coronado.
Yeah.
Sonoma. I was wrong, and you and Chris were right. I had Larson. I got P4 out of that.
Okay.
Chicagoland. I have Tyler Reddick. You and
Okay.
Chris Berry have Kyle Larson.
Okay.
This is preseason predictions, everybody. We obviously didn't know what the hell we were talking about. Uh,
So we should be in predictors, is what you're saying. We should have our own app. We're very accurate.
oh, so accurate.
Now hold on. I will say I believe you are correct in your prediction of four first-time winners. I don't think you had the right four, but you have
Um,
four. We've got
so yeah,
Heim, Gibbs, Hocevar.
Hustle.
Who's our? I'm trying to remember who the fourth is, but we've had a fourth, haven't we? I feel like we have.
Mhm.
No, okay, so we got three so far.
No,
Oh, there was
but
one more.
we have an insane chance of getting four.
Oh yeah.
Um, Zane Smith is coming. You got uh, brain farting all of a sudden,
I mean,
but
Zillich can still turn around and pull one out this year. It's not over yet.
mm,
Um,
where
who else? I don't know where. I'm just saying it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
I can see Zane Smith pulling one off on a strategy play. I can see John Hunter pulling one off. Um, but so far,
Honestly,
you all called me a fool for picking so many first time winners. But uh, if we get one more, I'll be right.
yeah. Well, let's look at what's left. Okay, so Chicago,
So
Atlanta, North
that's what I was
Wilkesboro.
going to say. At Echo Park, Chris has the 34 winning. So
That could be the fourth winner for the year right there. There, Daytona, and possibly Richmond. I mean, it would not surprise me to see Austin Hill go in there in the 33 with how dominant the three's been, and RCR at
Austin
Richmond the
Hill's
last
a
two
terrible
years. And
quarterback driver.
somehow, I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just saying it would not surprise me if that somehow magically happened. Cobblish was so dominant at Richmond, and so the ghost of Cobblish goes in that car.
Nobody passing that three at Richmond.
I'm just saying things could happen.
Praise Halo, praise Austin. Don't cancel me, those that like Dale Earnhardt. I was just kidding.
See who else.
So, so yeah, I'm really hopeful that you and Chris are right on your preseason predictions.
Well, I can see why you would
In
be.
picking Larson, I'm surprised I didn't, but I know why I didn't. Um, Ironically, I think that's the only race I had um, Tyler Reddick winning this year, and he's won 5 times.
Yep.
So,
So, all right. Well,
who do
we'll
you
see.
have winning O'Reilly at Chicago?
Ooh, when's the last time they were there? I think the same time, right?
19. Yeah.
I mean, the smart choice is Allgaier. Is Carson Quaffle back in the one?
He should be back in it all year. I'm pretty sure. The rest of
If
the year, I'm
Carson
pretty sure.
if Carson Quaffle's back in it, I have faith he and Rodney can do something there. Um, this should be a really good race, honestly, for the O'Reilly guys.
I think I think both races are going to be barn burners.
I'm just thinking about the last time we were there, and these cars that the O'Reilly guys are racing are like the old cars where you can slide it and hang that back end and basically drift through the whole
And
frick corner.
if you go back to Dover, they were doing that, and I could see Corey Day doing something here as well.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like this may turn out to be, especially because he's so close with Larson, in his dirt background. This may be like, Corey's already won and he started to turn the corner. This may be his coming out party. He could go out there, truthfully, depending on what he and Larson talk about this week and their similarities and like how they like to drive. If he get up there and do what Larson can do on the wall, he may get out there and just smoke him. It could be his like
It,
I am here moment.
and you bring the wall up. I'm kind of curious on how these next gen cars, if they're going to be wall riding or if they'll be middle of the road riding.
Yeah, I mean that track, if you
They're at
saw
six.
the
They're at
pictures, the
670, and
asphalt is,
the last time they ran there in Cup, they were at 800 something horsepower.
yeah,
This is 670, so you kind of wonder, are they going to need to be will riding the wall be
is
needed
advantageous.
enough with the horsepower that they have?
I think we're going to learn a lot in practice because we're going to see
But Denny and Larson should be really good because they're both at the tire test. I can't
yeah.
remember who the Ford driver was. It might have been Blaney. Not 100% sure, which kind of changes my idea.
I'm really excited. I hope it puts on a hell of a show because if not,
Well, I really
Coronado
want
put
like
on a very
it
good
always
youth.
puts on a Chicago always puts on a hell of a show.
No, no, I'm
But
just saying we haven't been there in a long time, and Coronado gave everybody the justification to say, "See, street racing's good for us. Let's go do it again." So,
well, I hope it's packed is what I was trying to allude to.
yeah,
They and I'm going to say this for Chris. Chris is always talking about this, and he's right. They talked about and talked about and talked about how we need butts in the stands, and then they say, well, the money's in the TV.
yeah.
TV's all we care about. And now we're hearing if we don't sell it out, we'll probably go back to the street course. Well, which one is it?
And see, I don't
If
think
it
we have to
puts
go back
on
to the
a
street course for
if it puts on
Chicago.
a hell of a show, we need to stay there.
Yep. I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't think we need to. If we go back to Coronado next year, then there's no reason to go to Chicago street race again for
Yeah.
next year. But I think one dictates the other. I don't think we need to go back to the Chicago street race ever again. I'm more in line with Harvick.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to happen
I know
because
they want it to. The NASCAR
well,
people want it
well,
to.
they NASCAR, the head of NASCAR and all that crap. When Jim France stepped down and everybody started moving up,
Yeah,
you put O'Donnell in his spot, and then Kennedy went in his spot. Well, you heard who went into Kennedy's spot to do the schedule, right?
yeah. The lady that did San
It was
Diego.
the woman that was leading the charge for the Chicago street race. So of course
Yeah,
she's going to want to put that back on the schedule.
I'm not against putting another street race back on the schedule if Coronado can't happen. I just don't think we need to go to the same place
Well,
twice. Once we leave there, we
I've
don't
heard
need to go back
rumors
for a
that
while.
they're gonna race in Cincinnati at some point. Why? There is
Wow.
a track an hour down the
Prime.
road.
Yeah. It's because of Prime. So if we have to have one street
That's
race a year,
that I also was sort of alluding to that. Prime wants to be in a new market for one race every year. So we have to think when we're thinking about potential schedules, what is going to be that new race? It was
yeah,
Mexico last year. It was Coronado this year. What will it be next year? It has to be new. That's the clause.
yeah.
So if if are we talking new or is something we haven't raced in a while, like Kentucky or Rockingham or something like you know, is it just
Yeah.
that or does it have to be new?
Well, again, if we got to have a street race somewhere, if it's got to be a street race and it's got to be a new market,
I've
trying
heard
to think of where
Colorado.
hmm?
They've been talking about Colorado for 3 years.
I was gonna say Denver would be great.
Yeah,
Granted, you got Pikes Peak, but as long unless it's not there anymore.
don't bring up Pikes Peak in front of Chris. You'll make his head turn red.
But that's an option. You could go to Denver. You could. I'd be in favor of getting rid of Coda and going and doing like Houston or
I've been
something
in
like
favor of
that.
getting rid of Coda for since it got on the schedule.
I'm just saying if we could get rid of one and also meet the other objective, I'd get rid of Coda and I'd either go to San Antonio, Austin, or Houston. Any of those three would be good.
Well,
You got the
what you have
River
to
Walk.
what you have to
Um,
remember with the Coda thing is that is being ran by SMI.
oh, I know.
So that race is holding a spot that could be going to Kentucky.
Oh
And
no, I'd get rid of Coda, send it back to Kentucky. Then I would give you your road
well,
race, but
I
in one of
I
the
mean
Texas.
I know you and Chris hate when I do this. I'm being very specific. Coda came from one of the Texas races.
Yep,
One of the Atlanta races came from Kentucky. Because Kentucky, when they got it originally, came from Atlanta. So Atlanta took their race back.
yep,
So, but we both want the whole schedule to have one race of every racetrack.
agreed.
And we need to get there for sure.
Yep. Well, I'd like to see Kentucky get their date, a date back. I don't care where it comes from.
I don't
Coda
care.
go away completely. If we got to have a street race, I think you have a lot of good options out there. I don't think we need to go back to Chicago. I think, or nor do I think we need to go back to San Diego, though I think the surface and the weather and everything works very well in San Diego. I think you could just as easily, like, okay, you got your airborne graphic behind you of Carl Larson. Can you imagine them racing down the streets of San Francisco, coming over those hills that the trolleys go over? Like,
Oh God.
right, like put on a street race in San Francisco. You've got the hills going up, you got the hills coming down. You could have a hell of a fucking race
Yeah.
in San Francisco. I hate California, 110% up front. I hate California, but it has the perfect weather for racing any time of year. You know,
Except for the spring in Sonoma for some reason.
right. But I mean, it's, as far as sunshine and lack of rain, like you could use California is so big. You can pick a section. If it's crap up here, you can go race down here and vice versa.
But
So
I we're talking about California, and I want to bring up we're getting in the weeds here as usual.
wait. Yeah. So before I don't want to cut you off, but you did ask me. I just came from San Diego. You had asked me if the signage and everything was stuff was there. You can still tell that that event was there. There's still tons of stuff up, and it was everywhere. I'm in Las Vegas for work this week. I'm inside the Aria Hotel and Casino. Every casino has a Formula One shop. You wouldn't know that NASCAR has a fucking racetrack here, let alone that we race twice a year here. There's no indications that NASCAR ever comes here,
Which is
anywhere
why
in
they're
this
talking
town.
about losing a race.
Yep. And I don't know if we blame the track owners for that or if we blame
I blame NASCAR and the track.
SMI or NASCAR or a mixture of all of it. Um,
As a guy that lives near an SMI track, they are absolutely terrible at promoting. There
yep,
is no sign when there was a race here, there was no signage. There was no, I think I saw an ad every now and then on TV, but we're talking very rare, like kind of like a in the middle of the night kind of thing.
yep,
So if they were like that for that, they're like that for all the other tracks too.
yep,
So it you have to advertise. We're not talking about wholesale shops here. You have to advertise, like get it
yep. And
out
you've
there.
got, and I bring that up because we had talked about it. And when you go over to Nellis, which is right by the racetrack, you don't see billboards leading out there talking about the events that are coming all that frequent. And you are in the mecca of people with money coming through here, and there isn't a sign anywhere. But you know what's already up and already got positioned? All the crap for the Formula One race that's going to race around the sphere here this fall. That stuff is everywhere. It
Yeah.
was up last year when I was
Well,
out here for
I,
work for this customer.
I have
It's
a
up
I have
now.
a task for you.
So go ahead.
You have more time on your hands to call the morning drive. You've talked to them multiple times.
Yep.
On a morning where they're not talking about much, you should call in and tell them that we need to promote these damn races in the towns they're in because when you're in Vegas right now and they're promoting an F1 race that is after the Cup race.
And there's no shortage of it. Like if I go downstairs to the grand, whatever, the concourse of this casino, there is Formula One stuff. There's a whole section in all the front stores. There's a mock Formula One car, I think, in Caesar's Palace, from what I remember. And it's got merch storefronts and all kinds of stuff. Like there's Formula One stuff everywhere out here from last year in preparation for this year. You go play by Top Golf, you can see the pit paddocks and all the stadium fencing stuff that they've got for the road protections already, like being staged. Um, you know, they you can tell that what you can tell for sure that that's coming. I hate to see a race because these cars race so well on Vegas in D-shaped ovals. But maybe we need to run the damn Vegas street course. If we're going to run a street course, let's race around the sphere. Let's race down the strip. If it's got the similar weather to
The
California,
problem
it's hot as
the
crap.
problem
So,
is they have to run that at night.
yeah,
And are you going to get NASCAR fans to stay up on the East Coast to start a race at 11 o'clock?
no problem not. But that I just wanted to, before you get back to the other point, I wanted to make that point on here because we had talked about it when I was leaving San Diego. Like there's still stuff everywhere, and there were billboards everywhere, and I haven't seen signage like that. I mean, NASCAR is home birthed in Charlotte, and when you land and go through Charlotte, all they talk about is their stupid Major League Soccer team year round on their advertisements. Hi, I'm the mayor of so and so, and it's home to, and they list all the sports it's home to. They don't mention NASCAR, which employs more people than all of those sports together through all of its race teams, brings in more money to that state than all of those sports teams together, provides more
Um,
jobs,
Even
all that
over the
stuff.
Carolina Panthers?
Yes, you're talking
Really?
about you're talking about 40 plus race teams and cup, another 30 something.
Yeah, I
And,
got you.
and so when you're talking about employees at scale and the amount of money that's going into those people's pockets, then going into the economy, there's one football team. There's close to 100 race teams, not counting the Little League and
Yeah.
all that money coming into the state of North Carolina. And NASCAR motorsports racing period doesn't get a word in Charlotte on when you fly through the airport and they list all the sports. So it's back to the like just total piss poor marketing in certain areas. Yet, like you said, you know, we've been for a year now been inundated with commercials and previews about what we're going to see last week. And we saw the same thing for Chicago, but we didn't get that, and for LA, but we didn't get that for stuff where these tracks are actually in these big markets. It's like they take them for granted. So,
Mhm.
all right, back to you. I'm
So,
sorry.
so what I was going to say about Sonoma,
Yep.
there was a tweet, I believe Bob Pockers was asked, or somebody mentioned how awesome Sonoma looked
Oh,
when
yeah,
the
every spring.
and he said, well, if you go any sooner, when if you go when it's green, it means it's been raining, and you'll have an issue like they had at Watkins Glen where the campgrounds are muddy. That's what he said. That's what their reason is.
Don't we have
Um,
that at a lot of racetracks, though?
yeah,
Bristol, the fall and spring. Watkins Glen in the
Pocono,
fall.
Pocono, anytime you go there.
Yep. Yep.
Um, like I don't know, maybe pave the areas where people are going to camp. Maybe
Bristol
I don't
did.
know.
Bristol paved all kinds of stuff up in the mountains for that very reason.
Take care of your people. That's all I'm saying. And
Yep. No, I
they
agree.
give that reason. And I want to bring up Watkins Glen. They
Yep.
always like people always bring up, let's why can't we race the boot? And they're like, well, it's less opportunities for people because you got to change the laps. There's less opportunities for people to see the cars that they come to see.
All
How
right.
long was Coronado? 3.4 miles.
3.4 years. But yes, 3.4 miles. It
I
was the
believe
longest racetrack we've ever raced on, I
anybody
believe.
who makes Watkins Glen is 3.4 miles if you do the boot. So
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, why is it different for some tracks? But like you go to Watkins Glen, IndyCar runs the boot,
Yeah.
but and I've heard it before, and IndyCar running it kills that. They say, well, you don't have spots for cameras. The same television partner does IndyCar, Fox.
Yep.
So again, you're
What are you
just
talking about?
throwing
Yeah.
lies out. They say they're
Yeah.
not passing zones. There's plenty of passing zones.
Yeah.
I've watched so many different types of racing there. that uses the boot. And if a Mazda Miata can find a passing zone there, I'm pretty sure a Cup car can too.
Oh yeah. Was trying to remember because we're talking back to the street course thing for a second. Was it Nashville where IndyCar raced where the cars got airborne on the frickin' bridge because they hit
Yes,
stuff?
yes.
Let's go there. That sounds like fun for NASCAR. They're heavier. They shouldn't get airborne, even though your
Um,
graphic would say otherwise.
that's all I'm gonna say.
I'm just
For
saying.
for our audio listening people, I just moved out of the way so you can see the picture behind me that say
Yeah,
five
if you're
cars lined
watching
up in
last
the
week in previous as previously seen on the NASCAR schedule, Coronado, Naval Base Coronado, they were coming over these little dips, and every time they come over, you wouldn't think they're that big a difference in height, but the cars would all leave the ground. And you're like, this is, I'm really surprised. We didn't talk about it last week, but just to point out, like, I'm really surprised there was no mechanical attrition for that race to
well,
broken toe
that
loops and A-arms and
I'm surprised of that.
radiators,
And
splitters.
when I saw that in practice, I really thought because it was the entry down to two,
Mhm.
you would be going down the hill and hit the bump. I really thought that would unsettle somebody's car and they would land and they'd spin out because they're trying to. And nobody had an issue in two. Nobody.
Nope. And
Well,
Parker
well,
Kligerman said he lifted as he
some
went off
people
of
had
it.
to corner a little bit, but outside of that, like it was nothing compared to turn one.
I think if they had stayed together closer longer, what I expected to happen was they come up over, the back end would lift up, and when they sit down, they're going to go like a pinball down through, or like a bowling ball through there and like wipe a bunch out. And it never happened.
So so the last thing I have, and
Yep.
we're on the street course kick. You mentioned let's go to Nashville. We might as well. They want to go. They go to Bristol. They go to Nashville Super Speedway. They're trying to go to Nashville Fairgrounds. Let's
Never
just
going to
let's do
happen.
a street two. Let's just do a Nashville Cup Series, and don't put Kentucky on the schedule. Just let's go to Nashville all year long, and just be that because that's all we want apparently.
It is all we want.
But
We the people just
let's just
want
go to
Nashville.
Nashville,
We just want
Nashville,
country.
Coronado, and back every other week.
All right, let's do it. So on the topic of Nashville, uh, I thought we were done. I did want to bring up one other thing.
But
So Trackhouse wins today. If it's not a road course, Trackhouse isn't in the discussion. Uh, Nashville is home to Trackhouse. It was announced they're going to build a new headquarters uh, in North Carolina. I mean, it's about time, but we know that they're really like they only care about Nashville. Do you think, and I only bring this up because of what's happened, but to me, it appears that Justin Marks, with the loss of Pitbull and everything and the people they've lost, I think they've bit off way more than they can chew at this point. He took over Chip Ganassi Racing, got rid of the people who didn't believe in the vision, brought in some new, and then not 2 years later gets into MotoGP and or wants to get into MotoGP and was given a very tight timeline to get on there. And they're doing really well in MotoGP with Aprilia. But as a result, they've lost their other, eye on the ball, if you will. To me, it kind of reminds me of Chip Ganassi, sad to say, but I think that they're spread too thin now. And you saw Chip always struggled as a result of being spread too thin between two series. And now I feel like Justin's making the exact same mistakes. He's traded motorcycle
well, I
winged speed cars for motorcycles, but it's the same damn problem.
I think the problem is I don't think he anticipated Pitbull leaving. They got into the talks of making Trackhouse an international brand with Pitbull there, and he signed up for it. And then Pitbull said, "See ya," and I think that just threw him off. I
Yeah,
think they're never going to be an A team, but I think they're going to stay. I think they'll bounce just like you said with Chip, but I think they'll bounce back and forth between a B plus and a C plus team until maybe they find a really good investor like the Spire did with uh, Bridgestone. Was it
yeah.
Bridgestone or Hahn? Cambridge, sorry.
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. Like they've taken on all this growth, and it's not all bad because I mean they're doing really well over here in
I,
MotoGP.
I
But
got
just
it.
like
They should have went after Guy Fieri instead of letting Legacy get him.
you got a half a hootie, so you got a songwriter, you got a foodie and a hootie, and
Yep.
now you got a Jimmy Jam.
Well,
This is a very
they said
unique
if
race
they
team,
ever, whenever they win a race, that'll be the party you go to because you'll have good food and you'll have good music.
and you'll have Jimmy Jam there doing God knows
And
what.
you'll have Jimmy Jam giving interviews.
Now, when Dale mentioned Jimmy Jam, I'm like, who the hell is Jimmy Jam?
Yeah.
So
But good show.
good show. Sorry
Had a,
for the delay,
had a
folks. You sat through all the BS. We do sincerely apologize. So, all right. Appreciate it. And we'll see you after Chicagoland and Slide Job. We'll see how energetic it is and if Dale
slide
gets
job,
Slide
slide
Job.
job.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All righty. We'll see you later. Bye.
Later.